Welcome to Papyrus Plans. I'm Tasha. Ready to create something beautiful? Let's dive in. Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's work on my monthly faith focus spread for the month of November. And this month I thought I would do something inspired by the Last Supper and the upper room, the scene in the upper room, and the passages of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the various different versions of each of those disciples. And so I found this text image online, and I'll try to remember to link to this. As always, I try to link to anything that isn't mine directly that I've made. And I made 2 of those. So I didn't want to just do the traditional version of the painting by Leonardo da Vinci, even though I do love that rendition. I thought I would do something similar to that, but kind of with a modern twist. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cool if it was like stained glass? So I created these stained glass images, and I found this one on Etsy. And the rest of these I created because I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I created some stained glass and created boxes. Now I did do a really cool effect on these that I've done in previous spreads for my monthly, as well as in my creative journal. And that's with using the pops of color. So, for example, I used, different shades of the pops of color. Actually, I think I used this one. And I think I finally used up all of this bottle. As you can see, there's a little bit in there, but I don't know if I can get the rest of it out. And this is one of my favorite shades. It's called Glitter Snowflake, to create that iridescent look. Because at first, when I put down this one, which is just the gloss, but it wasn't giving that effect that I wanted. Because, when you look at stained glass, depending on how the light cascades through the windows, it gives, it shows the different shades of the glass. So like the blues and the pinks and the reds and the greens, the yellows, it shows all of that. And so I wanted something to kind of mirror that kind of iridescence of the glass and the shimmer of light as the sunlight hits the glass. And so that's why I ended up using this one, because this does have iridescence in it. And when I put it directly on the sticker paper, it kind of mimicked that effect. And so I'll get really close so you can see what I mean. So this is a kind of a close-up so you can get a better sense of what I mean. And it just really did a beautiful job, again, of mimicking the colors that I created. So the blues and greens, it just kind of highlights those blues and greens. And here, even though I have some yellows, it kind of, again, highlights some of the yellows and the browns. And this one, I created different versions, more of like a blue with like a yellow arch here, and then blue with red and green. So I kind of, again, it mimics the different colors of the stickers that I created. So I created basically 2 versions of those, and these are identical. And then again, this image I got from Etsy, and so I was initially going to just put the wash over everything, and then I thought, well, that might look a little weird. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I only just did, even though all of this is stained glass, if I only did the actual windows in the image, again, just so it kind of stands out. So that's what I did. And that's the really zoomed in version of it, so you can see the shimmer and the gloss on it. It just creates this really gorgeous finish. And again, it mimics stained glass. And in my point of view, again, it mimics stained glass really beautifully, unlike any other product I've ever used before. And so it has that gloss, it has that shine, so it looks like glass, but it also has that shimmer to it like stained glass has, which I love. And again, I just did the background of them. And then I took some of my darker outliners and a couple of my alcohol markers just to kind of darken some of the hair so that the focus would really kind of be on the stained glass. And then I left the rest of all the 12 disciples. Again, I didn't add any effect to them because I kind of like the contrast of the 2 together. And then I created this larger strip of stained glass just in case I wanted to fill in some different areas. So I have that. And then I created a couple of stained glass windows. So this kind of traditional cross pattern here with the glass, the arch glass. And again, you can really see the shimmer and the gloss and the shine on that. And it just mimics glass, which I love that effect. And then I created a traditional cross glass window. And for the gold here, I used, not sure if I have it close by, but let me see if I can grab it. Let's see. I used a new product to me, but it's similar to the Pops of Color. And I got these actually for my sister. She was cleaning out her stash and was going to get rid of these. And she was like, I don't know if there's anything left in these. And she was going to toss them. And I said, well, you know what? Give it to me and I'll see if I can use them. And most of these are still pretty full. So I'm glad that I got these from her. But these are by, let's see, Ranger. And they're called Stickles. So I use this one. This one is the gold. So I use this one in gold. And I mean, very carefully, you do have to have a steady hand to do this, but I very carefully outlined the image. Well, first I should say, I think this is the first one I did. I used the gloss, the Pops of Color clear first to kind of give it that glossy window effect. So when you look at it, it does have a sheen to it, like glass does. But then I decided not to make this one iridescent because I just felt like it didn't need it. And so I just took the gold of the Stickles and very carefully outlined various aspects of it. Again, so that it has that shimmer and glittery effect, but the rest of it is this clear gloss. So the rest of it is kind of like traditional stained glass. And then this one is kind of like the clear glass with a little bit of gilding in the edges, which is nice because I've seen both types of glasses, especially when I was overseas in Europe at the various churches and cathedrals that I've been inside of. So I thought it was kind of cool to kind of recreate that experience in my planner. Okay, so those are the stickers I created. Let's see. And then right before I turned the camera on, I originally wasn't going to use washi, but then I was looking through my stash and I thought, well, I have this kind of abstract washi here, and I got this entire set on Amazon. And I think I've linked that previously before. And I love it because it's abstract, so you can use it with almost anything, but it has this gold foil to most of the different washi. So I thought I might use that. But then I remembered that I got these. And then I thought, wouldn't it be kind of cool to kind of incorporate some of this? Because again, it kind of mimics some of the colors of the stained glass. And I thought, this is really pretty. So I pulled that. So I think I'm kind of leaning more toward this. And maybe even doing, I don't know, maybe some across here. Or what I did for my Easter spread. I mean, it was time consuming, but I thought it was kind of a cool effect. I did some washi at an angle and just kind of cut around it. I could do that, but I do want to put this in the sidebars, so I may not have room to do that. So I think what I might just do is just keep it simple and maybe choose 1 or 2 colors at the top around November in 2025, and then maybe see if I have enough room to maybe put some somewhere else. So I might try to do that. So I think the first thing I'll do is usually I start with the biggest elements first, which is going to be the 12 disciples sitting in the upper room. So I might do that because I do want to use this, and that's going to take up quite a bit of space. Actually, this is larger than I realized. Do I want to do that? I could, I guess, cut off some of this at the bottom. I might do that. Maybe trim so it's just this right here. That way I can have, let me see how many boxes this takes up. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That way it's only taking up the width of 2 boxes and not going into that 3rd row. So yeah, let me get my cutting mat. All right, so I got my trusty cutting mat over there. And my boxes and the rest of this I'll have kind of up here so I can see it. And let's see, how do I want to do this? I think I might... Let me get some of my temporary tape and just tack down the top and the bottom or the side just so it won't wiggle on me when I'm trying to place this. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so this is some of my low tack tape from scrapbook.com. And I think I'm going to just, again, kind of make sure it's even. Tape this top area here. And actually that might be enough. Let's try that. I was going to cut this first, but I don't think I will. I think what I'm going to do is try to place it. I'm trying to place it here, so it takes up that one section, but so I keep this box, and that box. And then trim off the rest if it lets me. Let's see. Let's see, how far does it go over if I do one like that? Okay, so maybe I'll line it up with this edge. That'll make it easier for me. And I'm tacking it down lightly. Trying to bring it down. And I might have to lift this slightly. Just shift it on me a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't rip. Oh, and it's ripping. Okay. Maybe not. Let's put it back down. See if I can work out this bubble in the middle. That's why I was trying to lift it. It's going right through Jesus. Ooh, gosh. All right, let's see if I can trim this. Let's see. Let me get my longer ruler. My 12-inch ruler. And I'm going to try to line it up with the top of this line and this line. So I'm using that kind of as my guide. Because if both of those are lined up, it should be relatively straight. And I'm applying light pressure because I don't want to cut my table. And there's going to be a sliver to cut off there, but I'm going to try to get this piece first. If I can. Oh, and it's tearing already. Oh my goodness. Really? I just put you down. Sometimes you can do this and sometimes it doesn't let me. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that didn't really work, did it? Let me get my tweezers. Hopefully I can put the box over top of it, but I'm just going to get, since there's a large piece here, I'm going to try to lift up this large piece. Just so when I put the box on top, it'll lay flush. Okay, well, you know what, I might just leave that edge there and then put the box on top of it so it won't really matter. Actually, that effect right here kind of looks cool. It almost looks like I did it on purpose. We won't tell anyone. Shh. Just clean up this one edge so that it does kind of look like I did it on purpose. Okay. Carefully put this up. And I'm going to cut in between here. And again, it kind of shifted on me. So do my best not to cut my planner pages. Okay. I mean, that's the only risk of putting something directly in the middle is... I should have did the bottom too. I usually do. I don't know why I didn't. Or the two sides. I should have maybe did the two sides here. Usually it works a little bit better if you do the two sides, but the paper sticker stuck, so I'm not sure if that would have helped. Okay. So it's kind of going through half of Jesus. But at least when I pull it apart, I can still see that that's him in the middle. So hopefully that punch doesn't go through his head. I don't know. I don't know if it does. Maybe I should have raised this up, but we definitely know I can't raise it now. Actually, I should have did that because I just realized the entire first week, except for Saturday, is blank. Ah, I should have raised it. I kind of regret that I didn't. I just noticed that. And then I would have only lost 1 week instead of 2. Oh. Okay, we're just gonna deal with it because there's no way I can pick this up because, as you can see, I tried and it did that. I mean, usually I can, and sometimes, for whatever reason, it won't let me. And today was one of those days. It just said, nope. So, let's see. I think what I'll do is put this in the sidebar. Okay, that's the second one I made. Let's do the whole one. Because I created the second one because I went through over two in the middle of the 2 A5 sheets. So I just did it in case I want to add some text somewhere else. Let's see. Second, I don't think that's going to be visible. Let me do it like this. And again, see if it'll let me clean up this line. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just so I can have a clean edge here. I mean, it's not very much, but... So if it doesn't let me, it won't be the end of the world, because again, if I have to, I'm going to put a box there anyway, so technically I don't have to do this, but it will make it easier to make it level. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to let me. Today the sticker paper is strong. Okay, we may have to leave it because it... Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, that came up a little bit better than this. I don't know why that stuck so much. Okay, let's get this edge here. I'm going to cut around the divider as best I can. And then what went over on the edge. Okay. All right. Not bad. I think I might take maybe one of my mallet liners just to take away that raw edge right there. And I'm going to use the chisel side just so it's not white. Yeah, that way it kind of blends in with this side a little bit more. I like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this tiny little edge at the top here. Again, just so it blends in a little bit better. And let's go ahead and punch this. And I'm lining it up and just double checking it. I like to look directly above it because sometimes when I don't, I notice because this is shiny, it punches not 100% accurate. So, okay, that worked. Again, just kind of lining it up. And because this is the dashboard part where the month is, it's super thick, but as you can see, it punched through that. So let's do this side. Again, line it up and make sure I always double check by looking above because otherwise it gets out of line and it won't punch properly. Okay, so we got that punched. Yeah. Okay, that punched that. So that's what it's looking like so far. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, I like it. I mean, really, the only thing I wish is I wish this was up. If I thought about it, I would have did that. I just saw this little edge I didn't trim. Couldn't trim that. All right, so we got Jesus and the 12 disciples in the upper room celebrating Passover. Trim that little bit that didn't cut all the way. Okay. Now, maybe before I get carried away, add in some of these boxes. So since the there's the first day of the month starts on a Saturday. So I think I'm gonna put a double box over there. And might have to, again, hate to trim off some of this, but I think I might have to. Let's see, how far does it go? Okay, it's about just under 1/4 of an inch. So if I do this bottom part, again, I'm gonna keep this because it's pretty and I can use that on something else. Just a little bit more. So I'm gonna do part of this side. And I'm just eyeballing it since I know the sticker paper is sticking today, and this is the same I usually use. Oh, you know what? It might be because I use this on top. Maybe that makes it extra sticky or something. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty close. I think I'm gonna keep it there. And see how long does it go? Goes a little bit long. But again, I think that's fine because this is blank. So I don't think I'm gonna trim it. I think I'm gonna bring it all the way to the edge. Let's see. Yeah, maybe just a little bit more, just a hair. Because it's going into the box underneath just a little bit. Again, I'm saving all these scraps because they're pretty. All right, now I want this to be at the top. So make sure I orient it the right way. Bring it all the way down and across. And, oh, this lift, look how easy this lifts up. No, why didn't that do that? This is literally the same sticker paper. That always boggles my mind that the same sticker paper can stick like crazy and then not stick as well the next time. Just kind of moving that down a little bit so it's flush. Okay, so that's the first. Actually, you know what? Let me get my dates so that I can remember what's what. And let's see. I don't think I pulled them. Okay, let me go grab those real quick. All right, so this is the set that I usually use for my creative journal, but I grabbed that one and this one, but I think I'm gonna use the ones in this because this is the new one that I bought from Happy Planner when they had that huge warehouse sale. It has these really tiny numbers, which I think will be perfect. So let's use that. Get my tweezers. And I think these are the ones I used in October too. Oh, okay, that just popped out, but okay. Oh, I got sticker paper stuck to my tweezers. Let's get that off. And this is the first of the month. So I'm grabbing this tiny little one. And again, it's so tiny, I don't even know if you can see it, and it's clear. So there's the little one right there. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in this little corner here. It just gives me some extra space to write. So I have that double box there. So I'm gonna do that wherever I can. Let's see. Maybe do one here to kind of balance it out. So that'll be the 16th. So I'm taking up the 16th and the 17th. And I'll use this one. And this one I might just go all the way across like this. Let's see. I'm gonna white out these lines. You can kind of see it. Let me use my new whiteout that I used earlier, and I love this thing. I'm gonna try to find this again, and I think I bought this on Amazon if I remember correctly. So I'll link that for you guys because I think I might like this than my other one that I was using. Like it's amazing. I like how it's ergonomic, it's easy to hold. You can hold it like this, you know, hold your finger to it, and it's easy to kind of go like that. And then it has this cute little cover. Isn't that cute? I just love it. Oh, I just wrinkled it. Hold on. Let me get, where's my craft scraper? I am losing tools. I still haven't found my bone folder. I don't know what happened to that. Probably gonna find it as soon as I turn the camera off. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's get a 1 and a 6. And I'm using the individual numbers. Again, I know these are super tiny. So I'm getting really close so you can see them. So I'm using the individual numbers so that I'm not breaking up the full month, because you do get a full month in this as well. So I'm just doing that so I don't break up the full month that you get on the sheet. I mean, you can, but it's nice that Happy Planner thought to give you individual numbers so that you don't have to do that. So for stuff like this, I can just, you know, grab the little one, and then I actually grab 2 of them. So let's see if we can put this other one back. And then I'm gonna grab the 6. And I'm just gonna put them down in the box over here. And see, I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. I know these are super tiny. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it in the corner over here like I did for the first of the month. So I'm gonna have fewer boxes this month, but a little bit larger so I can do a little bit more journaling about my devotional and my takeaways for my devotional. More meditation on the Word of God that I'm reading for the day. Okay, I'm really liking that. That looks good. Okay, let's see. You know what? I might just do like there was windows here, 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 here. You know what I mean? Like, why not? So just do rotating colors. So maybe, let's see. Is that too close or should I do the blue? Ooh, that looks good. So I might do it like this if it doesn't go into the disciples too much. And that is, what day is that? The 9th. That kind of looks, or should I cut it? Should I do like that? I don't think I will. I think I'm gonna lay it right on top. That's the, what did I say, the 9th? No, I can't remember. Yeah, the 9th, and this is gonna be the 2nd. And because I have this empty space here, I can do that. Because usually I can't do that. But since I have the space, why not? So the 2nd and the 9th, gotta remember that. Ooh, that looks so cool. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's get numbers. And let's see, how should I do this? Maybe I'll put the number directly in the middle. So number 2. Just close to the top as I can so it's not taking up valuable space. And then what did I say? 2nd and 9th. These are so tiny, but I love that they're so tiny. And then I'm taking my craft scraper and just push it down because they're so small. Sometimes they can kind of pop up if you don't push it down. Ooh, cool. Okay, so now let's do the 7th and the 14th. And since I have this there, I think I'm gonna do it the opposite way. So it's gonna come down into like the 21st. But I think that's okay. So let's do 7/14. And maybe I'll do them opposite direction. So this one is on the bottom, so maybe do this one at the top. Again, directly underneath this. 7. 14. Isn't that cool? I love that. Now let's get the tiny little stickers to accompany it. Grab this tiny little 7. Oops. Again, just kind of pushing it down so it doesn't go anywhere. And then get a 1 and a 4 to make a 14. And I grab it, and since they're so tiny, I immediately put it on my finger to kind of help it to stick so that hopefully I don't lose it because they are so small. And then I'm using my tweezers to pick it back up again. I'm just kind of using the tip of my nail again to kind of just hold it in place until I can smooth it down. Ooh, that looks good. Okay. So we've got 2 more large ones and 4 more regular ones. I wonder if another one will fit like this. Grab the opposite one. Ooh, it might. And just cut off the excess. You know what? I might do that so I can maximize this here. So then that would be the 8th and the 15th. So I think I might do that. And I'm leaving my lens zoomed in so you guys can see what I'm doing because I know these numbers and things are so small. So I'm going to use the opposite one because I made these in 2 different colors. And I think it captures most of that box. Hopefully it doesn't cut off any of the white. And I'm going to grab my dark gray mount liner. As I can see, I should have did this before I put it down, but actually let's see if I can I lift it slightly? I don't know if it's gonna let me. I'm gonna take away this white edge by just running. Oh, it's letting me, okay. I'm just lifting the edge of the sticker and running the mount liner across to get rid of that white edge. so that it looks like it's a continuous stained glass window. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna put it back down. And then do it again on top. Again, to get rid of that any of the white edge that I missed, so it looks more continuous. Ooh, that looks good. Now let's pray that I'm not losing any of the white of the box, because I really don't want to. Just careful. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that was a good decision. Okay, again, I'm keeping all of these scraps because they're pretty. And why not? All right, so now let's do the opposite color. So the blue one will go here. And actually, let me do this first while I'm thinking about it. I might still have to go over the top like I did the other one, but just in case, do it now while it's on my mind. Just get rid of that white raw edge. Again, so it looks like all the stained glass is next to each other. I think that's cool. And put it directly on top of that, and as close to that box as I can. Oh my God, I love that. Isn't that stunning? I think that's really beautiful. You know, I love when you have an idea in your head and you can execute it in a way that kind of matches that, because that doesn't happen often. All right, now I'm going to zoom back out so you can see all of it. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far, and I am in love. So let's go ahead and number these. So let me get, let's see, 8. Again, I'm putting that right in the middle. That way I'm using up all of the available space that I have. And then a 1 and a 5. And one of the reasons, usually I remove the backer sheet on the clear stickers to make it easier, you know, to get the stickers. But the reason I haven't done that on this is because these are so tiny. I'm afraid if I try to lift this, all of these numbers are just going to pop up. You know what I mean? So I'm a little scared to do that. So that's the reason why I haven't done that. Okay, let's get the 5 down. And again, I'm going to smooth this down. And I can see part of a little white line there. So again, I'm taking my outliner and just kind of take away the raw edge there, just so it's not quite as noticeable. Just running it along the edge very carefully. Hopefully it doesn't bleed through, and it didn't, thankfully. Usually outliners don't bleed through unless you're like going over it repeatedly, which is why I like to use them, because alcohol markers will bleed through. Ask me how I know. And I think I might even do this little edge here. I mean, it's very small, but it's noticeable to me. So again, just to kind of take away that little white line that I saw. Okay, so we cleaned that up. So now at least I like to have, you know, 3 days a week, at least 2. And now I have that. So that's really great. I love that. I don't know what I'm gonna do to get rid of that kind of awkward line there. Maybe I'll put some of the washi there instead of putting it other places, and maybe I'll use it to fill in there. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. So this is the 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then, is that all I have? So I have these 2, and then I have these 2. So I have 2 longer boxes and 2 shorter boxes. So I think I might be able to fit a long box here. So that would be the 19th. Let's see. Let's use the opposite color. Let's see if this fits. And again, I can bring it all the way up. Since this goes down, I can cover up that. Even though I kind of like this raw edge right here, I think I might cover it up just so I can fit this. And I might have to trim Again, like I did the other one, some on the side just so that it doesn't go into the white on that side. Let's see. So this way, and then bring it up. Bring it up to this line. Like that. And again, trying to make sure I don't go into that box in case I can use it. Oh, that fit almost perfectly. Again, I'm gonna try to see if I can, let's do it like this. Color the top of this edge here without getting it on the other side as best I can. I just use the sticker backer sheet just to prevent myself from coloring on the back or on my table. That worked for the most part, but not quite. And I'm just taking the edge to fill in very quickly and very lightly, because again, I don't want it to bleed through. I mean, it takes a lot for outliners to bleed through, but I have had it happen, and it's usually when you're going over it and going over it repeatedly. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so that was, I think, the 19th I said. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah. So let's get a 1 and a 9. And let me smooth this down first. I meant to white out that line, but I'm scared to pick it up. Although these have been picking up pretty well. Oh. It's tearing a little bit, but not a huge amount. Just because I can see it through sticker. And then put it back down. And see if I can get this edge. If it'll let me. Again, if not, I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't want this to rip. And since it's by the holes, I don't know if it will. Just kind of going slow just to see if it will let me. Again, it's a little tricky when it's close to these, where the hole is of the planner. Bottom's lifting up really well, but it's not letting me get the rest of it. So I'm just gonna do what I can see and put it back down. Just so it's not quite as obvious. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay, let's see, 1 and 9, so on my finger. Let's just pull that back up ever so slightly. And then again, push it down. All right, so we have 2 smaller boxes and this 1 larger box. So thinking of doing, now maybe I'll do the first 2 because it covers up the 23 and 30 with that line. And then maybe 1 over here. I might even put the last one in the middle. I wonder if that would fit. Ooh, that fits pretty well, actually. If I did it like this, but not quite. I'd have to cut it. Do I want to do that? I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I shouldn't. Or maybe I put one of these in here. Because I have this. I kind of want to use this. I actually kind of forgot about this. Or maybe I'll put this down here. Maybe half of it over here and the other half over here. Okay, I might do that. I don't really want to do it like this. I feel like that looks weird. So I think I'm either going to do it like this or even this. I might do that. Or do I want it to line up with this one? Like that. And then what am I going to do here? I think I might do that because then it kind of has symmetry. So this would be the 28th. So I'm gonna bring it all the way to the edge. The top of the box. It doesn't quite go to the bottom, but I think it's close enough. And wet out these lines. And do my best to line it up with this top edge. And again, I'm taking the outliner and kind of just filling in this gap here so it's not as noticeable. And thankfully it didn't go through. Okay. I mean, there's only a small little line there. That doesn't necessarily bother me, so I think that's fine. I mean, I don't like this here, but I think I can fill that in with something. Maybe some washi tape there. So now let's put these down. I kind of want to do 24 and 25, so it's not directly under these two. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. Let's see, what would that look like? If I did, actually, let me grab both of them. Let's see, that's this one, so let's do this one over here, like that. That might work. I'm bringing this all the way to the edge. And let's see. Actually, like this. I just realized if I bring it to the bottom, there's going to be a gap there, so I'm going to bring it up to this box, but all the way to the edge. I'm going to do it this way so I can kind of see that both these lines and that line. So that it's to the edge, but directly underneath the box. Like that. And that is what I say, the 24th and 25th. Then this, I think, will come directly next to this. Is that crooked? That is a little bit crooked. Oops. Let's see if I can fix it. Okay, so I'll put a 24 and 25 there. So let's get 2 2s. Okay, 24, 25. And as always, I'm gonna reinforce it and push it back down just to make sure it's fully adhered to my planner page. Okay, and let's see, did I use all of them? So I have these left. Oh, I have this strip left too. And okay, I used up that one. I got these little scraps. So I have these scraps and this. Okay. Really want to use one of these, but I don't know if I have the room. Kind of want to keep like supper and Jesus. So what if I did like this? Or, oh, I want to do that, but then it's going to go into that, which I don't want to do. So maybe keep table and just do the corner so that it's not going into the box. But then what do I do with this awkward space? What do I do? Okay, I think what I'm going to do is, let me white out these numbers. Maybe even the lines. I'm going to need to find something to cover up this kind of awkward area here. And I'll white out this over here too. as well as the numbers. And since I'm here, might as well go ahead and white out the lines. Okay, yeah, let's do these ones. Again, since I'm over here, let's go ahead and do it, and then we'll figure out what we want to do. Let's see. I think what I might do is washi here, here, and here, and maybe some up here, and then put this on top. I think that's what I might do. So, and I have this. Let's see, this might be, I don't know, is this big enough? It might be big enough to cover this. Ooh, not quite. But what if I just made, will it look weird if I put it in the middle and leave a border? Ooh. That's kind of cool, actually. Okay. Or what if I did, hold on, figuring this out. Let's move all this over here. I got one of these. Like maybe the yellow, maybe the 2 yellows, and fill it in. Well, actually I don't need to do that because I only have that small sliver. So maybe, since I have so much blue, I don't think I'm going to use the blue, even though it's really pretty. I think I might just use the yellows because that's kind of cool. Or maybe these 2. Kind of like sunset, right? Ooh, kind of like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna play around with these. And let's see, maybe the middle tone here. I can find the end. Get the end of my craft knife. Do my best not to tear this. And put this down here. Because it's so iridescent and shiny, I think it's gonna look kind of cool. Actually, only need half of this. I wonder if I could cut that in the middle and put that down there. Will it let me? That's the question. Let's try. So I'm not wasting washi. I mean, kind of in a half, so like about right there. I'm guesstimating because I can't really tell where the halfway is, but I think it's about right there. Again, I'm using a light pressure because I don't want to. Okay, that was nowhere near half, but again, let's see if it'll work. Not really. And I'm losing some of the stickiness when I did that. Let's see. I'm gonna run this through my Xyron if it lets me. Sometimes it's hard to run things with adhesion on it. Or you know what? Let's cut it and then maybe glue it. Since it went like half of the way, but not all of the way, because it's so shiny, it's a little hard to cut. There we go. And then let's see. Let me get one of my glue sticks. And that one is out. Get another one. There we go. That's a brand new one. Oh, what did I do with the other piece? Hold on. I lost some of my washi. I don't know where it went. Where did it go? Or did I leave it in there? Yep, I did. Okay. I'm going to run this over the top. Or the underside of it, I should say. Again, it feels sticky, but when I pulled it up, I could tell I lost some of that. So I'm just using some glue just to kind of reinforce that. Okay. And let's see, yeah, it's this side. Just making sure I add glue to the right side. And again, I'm just holding the glue stick as I slide it across. That way it adds glue, but not a huge amount of glue. And again, I'm sliding it down as best I can. Right to the edge of this. And hopefully that's enough to cover it. And get my craft scraper, and again, smoothing it down just so that glue kind of adheres. And I remove any of the bubbles. Ooh, I love that color. All right, now let's take this and put it in the middle. Oh yeah. Look at that. And it looks like I covered the whole thing, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I love that. Oh, what if I did different colors? Ooh, okay, I'm getting ideas now. Ooh, I love it. Guys, that looks cool. Isn't that cool? Okay, now let's maybe do the same thing over here. Let me see. Because I was going to do something like this. Wait, oh, hold on. I don't want this to get stuck to my table. Let's not do that. Okay, I'm trying to see how far I can bring this over. I think I was going to do something like that. So I just need to cover up maybe half of the box. So, and then I'll do the same thing and maybe add some of this, but maybe do it vertically. Ooh, yeah, okay, let's do it vertically. So let's see. Let's get a different color. Which one did I just use? I used that one. So let's maybe use this pinky color. And since this is a slightly wider, I think I might have to use the full width. I might have to use 2 full widths. So let's do like this. And slide it over slightly. So I can cover up that white out. Okay, like that. And not quite. Like that. There we go. Turn it over, make sure I get the full edge. And I'm gonna do a double layer, even though I probably only need 1.5, just because vertically it's a little bit fussier. And I want to make sure that it covers everything. So I'm gonna do 2 layers instead of cutting it in half, because again, I need the width on this one. And this is the pinky dark version of that. And then I have this middle tone version I can use. Let me put the lid on this so my glue doesn't dry out. Okay, so we have that there. And I think I'm gonna add this. And then bring it, let's see, I wanna see the table and Peter. Well, I think I'm gonna cover up Peter. So I'm just gonna see the table. Like right there, that way it's only covering up that one little 1/8 of an inch in that box. Then I'm gonna save this, again, in case I need to use it somewhere else. And let's see, what do I do with that mount liner? What did I do with it? Okay, oh, there it is, right there. Again, I'm trying to color in this one little edge here so it looks more continuous. On that bottom corner. So I just filled that in a little bit. Okay, so we have that little shiny part. I may not need anything there. Actually, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I don't think I do. You know, I might just leave it like that. That was kind of cool. So maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll go in these little areas and color them in, because that's kind of neat. So this is the other tone, or maybe I'll use a more obvious pink, like this, and fill in these areas so they're like shiny, like stained glass. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so I might fast forward through this part. Since you've seen me do it twice, you know what I'm doing. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so I'm back, and I'm not gonna lie, that took quite a while. But as you can see, I do think that it was worth it. So I basically used the scraps that I had left over from this piece. I used that here. And then I had a small scrap left over from these two pieces that I cut off, and I combined them to create this piece here. And I used the bottom of this piece up here, and then I didn't have anything else left but this other cross window that I made. So I used the top part of that to kind of create a different shape from this one, because I thought it was going to be, since I couldn't fit the whole cross, I decided just to fit the top part. So I did that there, and then underneath, before I put that on, I just used the various different colors that I had from this set and put them there. So as you can see, it has the shimmer and the glimmer of stained glass, which I love. And I didn't even think to do that when I originally had this idea. And then as I was looking at my washi, I saw this and I was like, wait, why did I think to use this? So I think that's kind of cool to use that again to kind of create that stained glass effect on top, and then use my actual stained glass windows that I created there. And then I used a strip of the blue at the top here, because that's the color I didn't use anywhere else. I didn't use the blue. I didn't use the green anywhere, or the dark orange in one of the pinks. I use varying shades of the other ones. So I use this really, really pale pink here, and kind of that medium tone pink here. And again, even though it's pink, when you change it, you know, even like the orange has different shades and hues up close. So I love that. Depending on the way that you turn it, again, it captures light like stained glass. And basically, I used all the stickers I created except for the bottom half here, that was the other part of the cross. And then this is just kind of the extra pieces that I cut out from the little elements over here. But pretty much had no waste. I had this extra sticker that I created because originally I thought I was going to add some text other places or at the top here, but I decided to do this instead. And again, to kind of go with the stained glass window theme. And I gotta say, I'm loving the way that this came out. So let me know what you think in the comments. Again, this was kind of an idea that I had in my head, and I just love it when a plan comes together and when your idea is executed the way that you envision, or even better. In this case, I think it was better. Again, I love the little cubes of color and all the tons of boxes that I have, and I still was able to fit, kind of like my minimum goal is to fit 10 to 12 boxes a month. Ideally at least 12, so that I can kind of get half to almost half in terms of being able to write my takeaways for my devotion. And again, I was able to fit all 12 boxes that I created, which I love. So I love that. So even though I put this here instead of putting it up here like I originally thought that I should have done, I think it turned out really well, because I like the fact that you have like these stained glass windows here, and it looks like it's part of the scene, just broken up. So I think that turned out really well. So I thought I'd just come back and show you what it looks like when it's in my planner. Again, I'm really loving the way that this came out. I love that even though my idea and my plans kind of evolved and changed as I was creating, that I still was able to create something really beautiful. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay inspired, and thank you for watching.